Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, April 9th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Glad to have you with us tonight. A prominent Democrat is speaking out about the nation's latest fatal police shooting with racial overtones. James Clyburn, assistant House Democratic leader, represents South Carolina on Capitol Hill. He was in Oxon Hill for a book signing and spoke to CTV about the shooting of 50-year-old Walter Scott in North Charleston, South Carolina over the weekend. The officer in the case, Michael Slager, has been charged with murder.
We're going to have to develop the will to do something about this. You cannot wave a magic wand and these things will go away. We have to have the will to find common ground to stop some of this foolishness.
Like the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson and the Eric Gardner death in New York, Clyburn says the Scott case represents a backward step for the nation. He says some aggressive groups are fostering bad policy nationwide.
And I think that the cancer eating at this country right now is this so-called American Legislative Exchange Council. That's the group, headquartered down in Texas, that's been writing up all these repressive pieces of legislation dealing with voting, dealing with redistricting, stand your ground laws. All these things are coming out of one little cabal. And they're being mailed around to these legislatures, and they've got some pretty wealthy people funding it.
Now, Clyburn, who represents the 6th Congressional District in South Carolina, says he's disheartened but not surprised by the Scott shooting.
A major switchback is underway for Metro. The transit system has announced that it will return to its automatic operation on the Red Line on April 13th. This comes after years of signal upgrades, rigorous independent testing, and several recommendations by the National Transportation Safety Board. The Red Line went to manual operation after the 2009 deadly crash between the Silver Spring and Fort Hutton stations. 9 people were killed and 80 others injured. Well, if there was a measles or smallpox outbreak, Prince George's County wants to make sure it's prepared. Fire personnel and police officers ran a series of exercises to test the health department's medicine distribution plan. At Largo High School, volunteers acted out realistic scenarios to simulate a biological attack like anthrax. Richard Goddard, chief of the Emergency Preparedness and Response Program, says the mock drills keep staff and residents on their toes.
Once we're alerted, we're already behind the 8 ball because the material had to be identified at a lab, so we're already hours behind. And we would basically have 24 hours to give the prophylactic medication to every single person in Prince George's County and in the National Capital Region.
Goddard says the community should take comfort in knowing that in an emergency, their health is in good hands.
And people are very excited to know that in Prince George's County, we have the ability to provide this type of medication in such a short notice.
Now, hospitals are most likely to become crowded during a mass outbreak, so officials say they would activate 22 medication dispensing sites at high schools across the county.
Prince George's police are asking the community's help to locate a mentally disabled man missing since yesterday morning. 64-year-old Russell Savoy was last seen early Wednesday in the 1300 block of Martin Road in Brandywine. Now, Savoy is described as 6 feet tall and weighs 215 pounds. He was last seen wearing a red, white, and blue sweater over a green short-sleeve shirt with dark blue dicky work pants. Now, anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call police at 301-749-5064. Well, if you owe the state of Maryland money, Comptroller Peter Franchot wants you to pay up. He's getting that message across today by naming the top tax evaders in the state. 40 businesses and individuals owe more than $13 million combined. CTS and Associates, a business based in Bethesda, owes $1.1 million. The top individuals delinquent on taxes are James and Denise Chiatti of Laurel. They owe about $1 million.
Teaches you to pay your taxes or you'll be caught out on TV.
Exactly. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.